huge reveals in the new One Punch Man chapter. And by huge, I mean, god damn. This female over here on the right is Psykos, who is part of the Monster Association, and she's going up against Blizzard, Tatsumaki. And the way that he draws her, if you thought that Fubuki was sexy, the way that Murata draws this new chick, Psykos, man, like, I hope you guys are ready for some anime titty physics, because, like, good lord, I've never watched a hentai before, but... Alright, so basically there is a huge reveal. Someone or something is still alive in One Punch Man. Something that had happened in a previous chapter that let a lot of fans down is back, or that character is back, and we're gonna get to that in just a little bit. Before we can get there, we have to talk about Tornado fighting against Psykos, and she's been down deep within the Monster Association, like 1,000 meters down or something like that, kind of controlling things from behind the scenes. So Tatsumaki finds her down there and uses her psychic powers to basically like latch onto her and pull her up. Holy jugs. a little bit parched here. So I lost my train of thought. So Tatsumaki grabs her with her psychic power and rips her out of the ground. And look at this evil, sadistic face on Tatsumaki. And basically they're gonna go into this little psychic battle right now. And Psykos is gonna try and rip Tatsumaki out of the air. And what ends up happening is they pull each other downwards and upwards, coming towards each other with both of their psychic powers pulling each other towards the other one, which is pretty cool. So much so that it just like, I guess they can create these like psychic barriers around themselves so they don't take damage. We saw some of that a little bit earlier. And by the way, as they blast through the ground, we see Saitama and Flashy Flash. They're on this little like mine cart thing. I think I missed it. I'm not exactly sure like where they're going on that, but it's just this kind of funny little side thing that's going on. For the last few chapters, they've been just like going down this mine shaft on this cart. Bruh. The way that this man draws the jugulars, I can't believe I'm gonna put this video on the internet. So Murata can draw any character like look cool. Like he can make any character just look insanely cool. The way that this dude does art is fantastic. I mean, this guy, the way that he draws females, dude. Normally when you see people that draw females like that, they kind of specialize in drawing females like that, if you know what I mean. But this dude he can just do everything. God. I don't even know how I can do this review, man. So they clash in this giant bubble of psychic powers, and it's sending shockwaves and stuff everywhere. And Psykos is saying, today is the day you lose. It's your fault for pushing me this far. So I'm not really sure if she's like a monster. I mean, there's not really any like monster characteristics about her, except maybe some veins coming out of her head. But other than that, she just seems like a regular human. So they're kind of going on in their little battle right now. And then we jump over to King, who has found one of the hostage children. And this part was actually really funny. This little boy, this is the one that Garo has befriended. The boy that has showed that Garo actually does have a soft side. He walks up to King, and King gives him this stare, and the little boy runs up saying, "Thank God you're here to save me." King says, "Don't move. It's useless. I already know." And the kid's like, what are you talking about? And it turns out there was like an invisible monster randomly behind this little child. And the monster's like, how? I should be completely transparent. And King is even surprised, you know? It's just like a goof, a gaffe. It's one of those things. King, just in his bluffing state, somehow was correct about what was actually happening. It's like, this dude, if he does have a superpower, it's just like infinite luck. Like the guy just, which I actually think there was in one of like the Marvel universe or something, the character that actually had that, like their superpower was they had infinite luck. So hilariously, this monster, after being caught by King accidentally, just runs away. And King realizes that after letting out a sigh of relief that, oh, this child is actually the child I have to rescue, and takes his hand to walk away. But here's the big reveal, okay? So as that little monster, little gremlin guy is running away, this little pool of black liquid stuff is in a corner there in the corridor of the monster headquarters, and it just like leaps out. Like, if you've ever seen the movie The Thing, it's kind of like that. It leaps out and just grabs this little gremlin monster and eats it. And with that, we get to see Orochi. So the Monster King, the big reveal is that the Monster King is still alive. And this is great. And we got to stop here for a second and talk about this, because there was so much hype over the Monster King. The Monster King was not in the one webcomic. This was a creation of Murata. There was so much hype over it. The fight between Monster King Orochi and Garou was amazing, right? And then Saitama comes and just blows him up in one punch, and you're like, really? So I think like fans really felt left down at that, and now we get to see he's back. And what I'm really curious about is, like, was there too much criticism over the fact that that Monster King died in one punch, and so Murata rewrote him back into the story to appeal to fans, or was this his plan all along? I have a feeling that it was his plan all along, which I'll get to in a little bit. So he's saying he needs more blood. He needs to start consuming more monsters to rebuild his body, and with that, like, his little liquid tentacle things just reach through like the whole underground monster association dungeon and just start consuming all of these monsters. And with that, his body starts to regrow itself. So he senses this powerful force of Tatsumaki and Psykos, and he wants to consume them and their power. Psykos here shooting out these like laser beams out of her eyes, this giant blast of energy, and Tatsumaki is just kind of repelling it with her psychic power, which is pretty cool. The repelling energy is like exploding the whole area. This is awesome. I mean, I can't wait to see this animated. Hopefully it does one day. And then Murata doesn't disappoint us with that middle panel. He must have studied a lot of Pornpub. So I think what Tatsumaki is doing here is kind of like, she's using her psychic powers to like contort Psykos's body. And as we'll see here in a couple panels, she starts to like really like twist and bend her body and stuff. It's pretty crazy. And here you can see that pretty much Tatsumaki has won. Her psychic powers were overwhelming. Psykos thought that she was the strongest psychic and that she could take on Tatsumaki, but obviously she couldn't. And this panel is just crazy. Like, it looks like her whole spine is being twisted. I don't think anything is broken, but this is like the power of Tatsumaki, as she can just grab you with her psychic powers and twist you up and just kill you in an instant if she wants to. So basically this little device flies over to Tatsumaki, and it's like part of the Hero Association. This is a communication device, and it's actually a My Mask. Now, a My Mask and all the other S-rank heroes are basically like really struggling with their opponents right now. Basically, the monster executives have all essentially handpicked the S-rank hero that their abilities counter perfectly. So Atomic Samurai and all of these guys are really, really struggling, and a My Mask is like, can you come help us? And, you know, Tatsumaki, she's like, handle it yourself, you know? But at the same time, the Monster King starts dwelling from the depths, and it's at that point that he launches out in order to grab Tornado. So all of these laser beams from all over the surrounding area convene and shoot down at Tatsumaki. And with that, she's forced to put up a barrier around herself, and in doing so, that releases Psykos, and now Psykos is actually free. Now, Psykos is important because she's gonna play a major role in the rest of this arc. So all these little like dragons are forming, these dragon heads, and they're shooting these hot laser beams at Tatsumaki, and these are the same ones that were shooting at Garou. This is the Monster King Orochi's ability. So Psykos is saying if we can use the tremendous energy in your body, we can probably defeat that woman. So she wants to like join with Orochi, I think. It looks like she is flying down towards Orochi here, and she's willing to be consumed by him. But that's very different than what happened in the one webcomic. But perhaps this is going to create some psychic Monster King, like some fusion between the two of them, which is definitely going to be very interesting. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Maybe she gets knocked away at the last second by Saitama and Flashy Flash. Maybe they, in their little minecart, fly through and knock her out of the way. But the thing that's interesting to me about this is maybe Garou fuses with Orochi, and that's what creates Monster Garou. Because what happens in the webcomic, there's no Monster King Orochi, but Garou, he eventually turns into an actual big giant like monster at some point. Maybe Orochi is going to fuse with Garo and create the ultimate Monster King. That would be super cool, but this could actually go a lot of ways. Orochi could recompose his body. Now that he's going to get a Zenkai boost, he may be able to withstand Saitama's punches, because that's the whole way that the Monster King was even created in the first place, was basically it's the same thing that's happening with Garo. Get them in an intense battle, get them near death, and then when they survive and recover, they're like way stronger. That's the Zenkai boost. Same thing that happens to Saiyans happens to both Monster King Orochi and Garo. And so it's possible that he'll come back stronger, fight Saitama again. It's possible that he'll fuse with Psykos and something will happen to that. And it's possible that he'll fuse with Garo and create the new Ultimate Monster King, which would also be insane. That's the end of the chapter, but some interesting developments there. Murata kills it again, and the crazy thing about this is Murata is putting out these chapters so fast. Like, I mean, the last chapter came out like not even a week ago, I think. I mean, it's crazy how fast this dude produces. I hope he can sustain this. I know he has people help him ink and do like a lot of the shading and background art and stuff like that. But still, this guy is just pumping out chapters so fast. And we're in like one of the best arcs right now, like one of the best moments. So much fun stuff is about to happen and is currently happening. And every episode, every chapter that comes out is some major new development or some major fight that happens. So this was just a phenomenal chapter. I can't wait to get the next one. Hopefully it'll be out in about a week. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment down below what you thought, and I'm gonna keep some of these pages for my own personal collection. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, I'm married. Come on.